What's up guys, we're here back again with another Division 2 video. Welcome back. This build, now this build is fun. Fun personified. This is my kind of build. It's a rush, aggressive skill build. Get in people's faces, use this in PvE, use this solo, use this in group scenarios and you'll have a lot of fun. I would not use this in the raid. This is not a raid build. I feel it won't have much value in the raid, but it does offer some great utility. That's survivability, armor regen, and skill damage. And guys, yeah, it's super duper fun. As always, I provide a template that you guys can potentially take away and make better, improve upon. Guys, yeah, take a look at this build. But before we do that, we just want to say this. If you enjoy this video, you enjoy the content, thumbs, doodle, it helps. It really does. And of course, guys, if you're new to the channel, drop the woo bomb on the sub button, ding the bell to be notified when I upload my shizzle. Guys, let's woo this. The build. Right, guys, this is the build I've been using, and I've been having so much fun with this build. Now, there are pieces that I thought about I could add in to make better and maybe hit a little bit harder, maybe add some Fenris on there to make sure I've got an extra 10% weapon damage, and maybe put 3-piece, Spellstone, whatever. I've thought so many kind of scenarios and brainstorms going through my head, and I'm settled with this. Let me just talk you through the build first. I'm using Technician Specialization. I'm using that because two reasons. One, skill damage 10%. It's nice. I like it. Yes, 10%. Boom. Also, the passive one, skill tier. Now, a lot of my skill builds, which are just primarily a skill build for skill damage, I don't have the relevant pieces to make sure that I can utilize the armor piece. But on this, I sure do. I have a really nice scenario set up here that I'm going to demonstrate today, and it's super duper fun. You can see I'm rolling one-piece armor and the Memento backpack. And why I'm rolling with the Memento backpack is getting them kills. You need to get them kills. You need to get them trophies. And if you're getting them trophies, what happens? You know, you guessed it. It means you're going to get that skill efficiency buff, which we know, pay that out. You're talking armor, damage, skill damage. Great, jobs are good. And that's what you want. Now, let me go through the build. Now, Technician spec, that's it. That's what it's all about. That Technician, skill damage, nice. Extra skill tier, brilliant. And then let's take a look at this. 1.1 million armor. So I'm no paper in the wind. I'm actually quite decent. 1.1 million armor is not bad. And then add on the buffs from the Memento backpack. Once you're stacking them kills, you know what it's all about. And that is extra armor, extra survivability, and more damage. So 1.1 million armor, 308k health, and 6 skill tiers. Boom. That's where you want to be. 6 skill tiers. Optimal damage. Let's go through the pieces. Now, Wyvernware. I've opted for a Wyvernware piece because I want skill damage on there. I want to get as much skill damage that I can get on the setup, but not, again, foregoing much damage like crit damage or crit chance where I can. So it is a hybrid. So I wanted that 10% skill damage. By all means, take this away. Test it out. Let me know what you think. But for the Rusher build, this works really nice. So that 12% skill haste, 10% skill damage, and a 12% critical hit damage mod. Now you could go for crit chance on this if you wanted to. I've had some really shit ones. I've just destroyed them. I only keep excellent pieces where possible. So I'll put on a 12% crit damage mod. By all means, try crit chance, see what you think. Second piece is the first piece of Hannah U. This is the holster. Now, I've opted for a 3-piece Hannah U. And the reason I've opted for that is I want that skill haste, big thumbs doodle, skill damage, yet again, thumbs doodle, and of course that weapon damage, which goes nicely with the capacitor. I mean, by all means, you could go for Walk Harris, that 5% weapon damage. You could go for the 10% assault rifle damage. That's fine. I don't have the exactly perfect pieces to make this Frankenstein build work in that sense with Fenris. But still, this way does shred. So there's potential for a little bit more leg room on this build. See guys, max skill damage, max skill haste. Now the last piece of Hannah U is the knee pads. The knee pads, again, max skill haste, max skill damage, and you see, nice 3-piece brand set is a decent, again, hybrid setup. Now in terms of the gloves, they are Spellstone Armory. Yeah, so what I get now is that armor regen. Want that little bit of armor regen. You could go for Emperor's, You could go for the free piece there to kind of take away the Hana Yu. That's up to you, and that's the beauty of this game. There's no, this is the best build in the world. If everyone tells you that, they're silly, so don't listen to them. There's so many more options. There's so much fun to be had in building, and this is a fun build to use. This is not the kind of build I would use where I'm going to sit in cover and just pray I'm getting some kills. You've got to take that risk. Huge risk is an even better reward because you will get them kills. You have a lot of power, you have a lot of armor and a lot of damage kicking out as well from your skills and your weapon. So with this armor regen, that 1%, which is nice, the 1% of 1 million, 1.1 billion is a decent number to have on the build. It really is, guys. You look at this, 10% of that is 110k. So 1% is 11k armor regen, which is nice. That nice tick of armor regen, and that gives you that extra survivability. So 10% skill damage and 10% hazard protection. Hazard protection does its work. You could go for, in all honesty, crit chance, crit damage. It's entirely up to you on the build. Now we'll go to the backpack, the Memento backpack. Now I've re-rolled this numerous times, and this is the best kind of scenario I'm in. 13.7% weapon damage, 154,989 armor, and of course that skill tier. I'll put some crit chance, but nice crit chance on there to again elevate the crit chance where possible on my primary weapon. Now the talent is kills confirmed. Enemies you kill drop a trophy on death. Collecting trophies provides both a short and long-term buff, the first of which scales with the number of core attributes equipped and last 10 seconds. Red is 5% weapon damage, blue is 10% bonus armor, 5% from skill efficiency, again depending on your skill tiers. Guys, you can see this is where that nice little bit of skill damage will come in nicely, and that's 6 skill tiers. That means there's a lot of damage I'll be kicking out from my skills. And my skills, guys, are nice on this. They hit hard. Once the stars are aligned, you are hitting hard with this, and this is why it's nice. You can run in and do some damage with both skills and stand there and kind of face tank because they can't hit you. They're gonna be bleeding. They're gonna be taking a lot of incoming damage, and you're there shooting with your capacitor. So it works a treat. For every trophy collected, gain 1%. This is an additional 1% weapon damage, 1% skill efficiency, and 0.1% armor regen for 300 seconds. Maximum stacks of 30. So you can stack this, and again, that 300 seconds, you just need to keep getting them kills. And given you're doing skill damage and weapon damage on this build, you're in a good place to get a lot of kills. Trust me, it's not one or the other. You have that nice hybrid feel about this build. And then the chest piece. The chest piece is a little bit different to what I would ordinarily run with in this game. But it works very, very nicely because it offers a little bit of crowd control, which gives you more chance to get in there and face tank a little bit more. It's the Hana Yu brand set, and it's the third piece. You can see, guys, the third piece I'm using. And this is 6% crit chance, 10% skill damage, 6% crit chance again. The talent is trauma, which is ordinarily a skill build trait. It is a really good status effect trait. Now with this, regardless how much status effects you spec into, trauma will not be affected. It is just a generic hit. It is a generic timer. So whatever you do, you cannot increase the trauma status effects. You cannot do that. It is set in stone. So just bear that in mind. So you can go all weapon damage and it still won't be affected. Go all skill damage, all status effects, it will not be affected. It will still be the same number. So trauma applies blind to an enemy hit in the head. The cooldown is 30 seconds. Applies bleed to an enemy hit in the chest. The cooldown is 30 seconds again. So what you're going to have two skills. You're going to have your skill damage going from the striker drone and your bleed, which will be going through your hive. And it is really good. It's a nice combination to have. By all means, you change this up. You do what you want on the setup. This, for me, works nice. But trauma, having this on the build just creates carnage. It creates just hysteria within the enemy camp because you're continuously shooting, blind, bleed, more bleed from your Hive Stinger and the skill damage and the capacitor, which will just elevate that skill damage. guys, need to say any more. That's your gear. Let's take a look at the weapons. Capacitor. Obvious choice with this. 82.1k damage. In terms of the mods, let's take a look. Crit chance rounds and crit damage. Weapon handling, they are fixed. It's an exotic. This cannot be changed. So in terms of the talent capacitance, shooting enemies builds stacks to a cap of 40. Each stack skill grants 1.5% skill damage after 5 seconds. Stacks decay 1 per second. 1 per second. With this build, you're consistently 30 and above. Consistently. And that means when you're at 40, you're going to get 60% extra skill damage. Yeah, you can see this is a run and gun build with skill damage and weapon damage. For each skill tier, each little yellow Lego skill tier gains 7.5% weapon damage. So with this, you can see I am at 6 skill tiers. So that, yeah, guys, that's pretty good. So that is an extra 45% weapon damage. So that's 7.5 times 3, which is 22.5, and then you're going to have that lovely jubbly double 45% weapon damage. You see now, guys, why this is great for run and gun. Now, the secondary is the Harmony. I'm using that. Again, I can switch this. I've got that choice in terms of damage. And with this, guys, you can see it's perfectly in sync. Hitting an enemy grants 20% skill damage for 5 seconds. Using a skill or damage an enemy with a skill grants 20% weapon damage for 5 seconds. Damage increases are doubled where both buffs are active at the same time. You can have 2 skills that are active pretty much most of the time. You've got your Striker Drone, which is, is a 24/7 skill. The cooldown is about 18 seconds. But again, guys, you manage this correctly, you'll never have it down. And then you have your Hive Stinger. Once it's cooking, it's really cooking. And in terms of the attachments, crit chance rounds, crit chance, and critical hit damage. Lastly, the sidearm, guys, is the TD Icon Custom. And again, that is just there for show. Yeah, it is what it is. I don't use it, so don't worry about it. Have what you want there. Entirely up to you. Let's take a look at the skills now, guys. The Hive Stinger. Now, I'm in the range. Now, I always do this, guys. Always do this. I always leave and I come back, then I forget. But yeah, there you go. There you go. That's me being silly. So let's look again. Right, that's not changed, but this will have changed. There you go. The cooldown, start the Striker Drone. The cooldown is 16 seconds. The damage is 70k, nearly 71k, which is a nice consistent tick. Guys, we know this could be better. Of course it can be better. Given the stacks by Memento, Capacitor, in a good place. It's a nice place. This will hit fairly hard and will demonstrate in the range how hard it can hit. So duration, health, and damage are the mods I've gone for. Now, with the Hive Stinger, now this is still not done. It's about 2.7 or 2.8 seconds, the refill speed. 18 charges. It's 1.132777 million damage. We're looking 7-second bleed duration. Don't worry too much because there's no status effects on the build. There's just 0, so don't worry about that whatsoever. Again, it is 6 skill tiers, so you're going to get the benefit of a skill tier system. The mods, guys, the mods on this, very simply, they are damage, stinger charges, and health. Now, let's take a look at this build in action, then we'll look at the stats on the weapons. So let's just switch to my card custom. No, back to the capacitor. You can see there, the bleed is set in. It's a 10-second bleed. Guys, yeah, 10-second bleed. Okay, blind. How many seconds? We'll start this at 20. Let's do it. The blind is about 7 seconds. So 7 seconds blind. And you're going to get 10 seconds of bleed with that. And again, trauma's not affected by your status effects. Imagine if it was, it would be crazily strong. It would. So let's just build up these stacks. But firstly, let's change the difficulty. Let's get it on very hard. Just to demonstrate, guys. Let's build these stacks. Right, that's your stacks. About 93,238. That's what you're looking at, right? Let's do this. It's not including any Memento stacks either. You see the Hive Stinger puts in a nice little shift as well, which is beautiful. It's a nice combination to have, where you can easily run and gun with this build. You can use some nice damage for your capacitor, and then you have the crowd control effects of the blind and the bleed, which is gonna disorient your enemies. And then you have your damage from your striker drone. You can see it's awesome. And then not to mention you catching these trophies. Once these trophies are dropping, you catch them, you're going to get the extra % of survivability for your armor, damage for your capacitor, and of course your extra skill efficiency, which will aid your striker drone and your Hive Stinger. But lastly, guys, we'll just take a look at the weapon damage. And again, you see 38% crit chance, as expected, really. This is a skill build. Crit damage, 87%. Again, guys, this is a 6 skill tier build where we focus on skill damage with a bit of crit damage and crit chance on the mods. But yeah, you can see this, it shines. It really does. It does shine. Now, there's a little bit of armor regen on the build as well. You can see AR bonus damage is 30%, 73.7% all weapons damage bonus. Beautiful. And then armor regen is at 10,835. And it's the nice trickle of armor. It is, and that's what you want on your build. If we just damage self now, we can just see that nice little bit of armor regen, and that will be boosted and buoyed by the fact when you're picking up those trophies. Again, guys, this is a nice build. Don't get me wrong. There's ways and means you can adapt it and suit it to your playstyle. Maybe add more AR damage so your gunplay is stronger. You get more crit chance or more crit damage. Let me know what you think in the comment section. But trust me, guys, this one, you've seen the gameplay. It works. It works very, very well, and it kicks ass. A great solo, great in a group. But of course, let me know what you think in the comment section, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.